According to Google, it takes 3 to 4 months to build a house, but apparently it only takes 2 hours to build a masterpiece. Recently, Selen Tatsuki, aka Nijisanji En Long-Necked Dragon number 2, made perhaps the greatest house in the history of houses. And no, I'm not just talking about Minecraft houses, I'm talking about houses in general. You just add a dash of dirt, a little blue and pink wool, some water inside the house, maybe a few chests on the roof just to be safe, way more doors than fucking necessary, and sprinkle in a few pee-pee towers in the end, and kaboom! With a little help from these three, mainly this one, you have created the house equivalent of the Mona Lisa. Well, actually, it's kind of more of the house equivalent of a Jackson Pollock painting, but you know, tomato potato, you probably can't even tell the difference. Honestly, I think even calling this a house is insulting to Selen's talent because of just how much better it is compared to these dumps. If you looked up art in a dictionary, you'd probably find this house despite the fact that it hasn't been a week since it's been built. Selen's house is so good that if Baron Corbin saw it, he would probably be able to perform again. Now, let's look at some inferior houses that I once thought looked cool and compare them to the Mona Lisa Jackson Pollock of houses.
Let me put it in a language you can understand. Gungaga.
Let's start with this house. This right here is the famous SpongeBob SquarePants Pineapple Under the Sea house. At first glance, you'd probably think, hey, that's a pretty cool house. I would like to live there. Time to move to the ocean. I heard I won't have to pay taxes there. But then you see Selen's house, and then your third eye opens and you see all the flaws in Spinglebob's house. Windows aren't aligned properly. Furniture looks really uncomfortable. No air conditioning. No air at all. Everything in the house is always wet, and since this is a pineapple that's been under the sea since 1999, it's probably rotten. Meanwhile, this house will never go rotten because dirt, wool, and doors all have no expiration dates. I think it's pretty clear that these two houses aren't even in the same league. And if I'm being honest, this house looks like something a Krusty Krab employee would live in. Hey, but wait a minute, good sir. Wouldn't some of the criticisms you've given to SpongeBob's house also apply to Selen's house as well? Well, you see, the difference is, shut up. It's okay when she does it. And no, I'm not a hypocrite.
Attention parents and grandparents of young children.
Gungaga.
Next up is Austin's house from the Backyardigans. This is the only good picture of the house I could find on Google Images, but already I can see two big problems. One, color. As in one color. Why would you have such a generic looking ass house with so little variety in the color department? But then there's Selen's house, which has such a wide variety of colors like blue and pink and boat. Such a beautiful combination of colors. But then there's this shit. But then there's problem number 2. The color is purple. Austin, why the fuck is it purple? Why did you steal the official color of Selen? Don't you know that nobody else is allowed to use that color? Ever? In fact, why the fuck are you purple? Austin, I don't care that you came into existence 17 years before Selen did. You are clearly copying her. How else could you explain this? Come on, kangaroos aren't even purple. Honestly, shit like this was why you were the most forgettable of the 5.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my
Gungaga.
Karl's house from the Pixar movie Up. Houses are supposed to be on the ground. This is so that you can actually live in it and not die because you're 50,000 feet in the sky and you walked out the door and you fell on the ground and you died. So what's the problem with Karl's house? Well, look at it. It's clearly not on the ground. I should explain why Selen's house is better than Karl's house, but I think at this point in the video, you've seen the house enough times to already know why.
It's over, Anakin! I have the Gungaga.
Remember what I said about Austin's house being one color? That was kind of a lie, the roof was not purple. But this right here, the Monopoly house, is literally one color, green. That's it. No other colors on there, not even a little sniff of any of the other colors within the color spectrum. Red, blue, yellow, black, orange, chartreuse, ultraviolet, No, none of them. Just green. Another major problem I have with this house is that it's way too fucking small. I don't even know if I can fit my pinky finger in that house, but I can't confirm it because I don't have any Monopoly houses. So compared to this structure, which was built by a certain long-necked bear dragon, which has a lot of colors, and if it were real, I could probably get in, the Monopoly house fucking sucks. This house goes to jail, does not pass go, does not collect $200.
See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell
Gungaga
for you as sacrifice.
I don't know if this house has an official name or if what I'm calling it is its official name, but Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt fought in this house during their House of Horrors match, so that's what I'm going to be calling this house. The House of Horrors is horrifyingly bad. First off, creepy babies on the ceiling. Why the fuck? This is supposed to be the House of Horrors, which is supposed to be scary, yet for some reason you decided to go with something that is so not scary. Oh no, creepy baby child. How terrifying. I have never seen this before, except I have. Even if you weren't going for scary, there shouldn't be babies in your house. Babies suck. But thankfully, there will be no babies or children in Selen's house, because Selen is bad with kids. Also, I think this House of Horrors has bad Wi-Fi because it's in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert. Unlike that of the giraffe-necked dragon's house, which I assume has fiber Wi-Fi, which scientists have confirmed is the best Wi-Fi in the world. Trust me, Selen's a scientist. She said it herself. So basically, the House of Horrors is a bad house. But I will give it credit. It's still better than the match that happened in it. But this wasn't the last house Bray Wyatt was in. He was also in...
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of
Gungaga Gungaga
on my side!
the Firefly Funhouse. Yep, that's right. A couple years later, Bray Wyatt got a few puppets and made a kids show in his brand new house, which is the Firefly Funhouse. And honestly, this house is way better than the previous house Bray was in, but it still has a few flaws. For example, it was so easy to find that someone Bray Wyatt was in a little rivalry with broke in and burned it down. The guy that burned the house down also happens to call himself the architect. And I must say, you must not be a good architect if you're burning the house down instead of building it. Basically, he is nowhere near as good of an architect as Selen is, and Selen also has a better laugh. Sorry, Seth. But the house wouldn't have burned down in the first place if Bray Wyatt just added some water to it, kinda like what Selen did with her house. Wait, I think Pomu did that. And a lot of deaths have happened in this house. Specifically, Rambling Rabbit, every single time. How many people died in Selen's house? 0. But credit where credit is due. Selen's house does not have the Fiend. Before I move on to the next house, I would like to appreciate the timing of everything because the very same day this audio was recorded, Bray Wyatt was released from the WWE.
Do what you want, cause
Gungaga
it's free. You are
Gungaga
The houses in Pompeii were so bad they caused the volcano to erupt and kill everyone that lived in them.
Gungaga
Last but not least, we have NRG Stadium, the home of the Houston Texans. Wait, that's not a house. I think my third eye has been opened. Selen's house is so good that I am able to compare it to an actual sports stadium. And I remember, near the beginning of this video, I said comparing it to other houses was insulting. I think even calling this a house is insulting to Selen's talent because of just how much better it is compared to these dumps. So not only have I realized how great her house is, I've realized how much I have disrespected her because this entire video was comparing it to other houses. Selen, if by some sort of miracle you see this video, I apologize for my disrespect. I promise I will do better in the future. And I also apologize for calling it Selen's house when it's actually Obsidia's house. I will also do better in that regard as well. Anyways, NRG Stadium is in our shit. You know Astro World, the theme park that went away in 2005? Part of the reason it went away was because of parking disputes because of NRG Stadium. I don't think it was the main reason, but it was one of the reasons. If Selen's house was here instead of NRG Stadium, I bet not only would Astroworld still be here, but it would be seeing record-breaking attendance. That's also one of the reasons it went away. Before they had artificial turf, they had garbage turf. Both Super Bowls hosted in that stadium were won by the Patriots, including the one where the Atlanta Falcons infamously blew a 28-3 lead, which, if it was against any other team, would have been absolutely fucking hilarious. But since it was the Patriots, it's just hilarious. But easily the worst thing about NRG Stadium is the team that plays there. The Houston Texans are horrible and I hate being a fan of them. They blew a 24-point lead in 10 minutes. DeAndre Hopkins and JJ Watt went to Arizona. Deshaun Watson has allegations against him. The owner won't fire Jack Easterby, and we could go 0-17 this season. They're also the only team in the NFL to never play in a conference championship game, and chances are they won't be playing in one for a while. Yeah, all the Texans do is make me miss the Roughnecks and want them to come back sooner. You know what I think Cal McNair, the owner, should do in order to fix this mess? Sell the team! And you know what? Fuck it. If Selen is as good at building a championship contender as she is at building a house, sell it to her. I bet she'll turn the Texans into an absolute juggernaut, bringing multiple championships to the city, and she'll do it without banging a single trash can. So now, with my many comparisons to inferior structures, you now understand that we need to fix the construction industry. We need to start adding more color, more wool, more peepee towers, more hairier peepee towers, and especially more variety to our houses. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.